What up, Falcons Nation? Rise up, Nation. It's your boy, Jazzy Jeff. Real talk, no gimmicks. Bring that real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans. And I am happy to have special guests on the show, Unintentional Grounding, Lieutenant Dan, or you changed your Twitter name? What's your name now?
What? What is my Twitter name right now? I don't know.
You got so many names.
No,
bro.
it's still at UNGR_show. It's Orlando Falcons fan. There's a special occasion, a special something that's happening right now. So don't worry about that handle, boys. Don't worry about that.
All right. And so we just want to talk everything Atlanta Falcons 2021 offseason, and there's no better person to talk about the Falcons than Lieutenant Dan. When you talk to him, it's like just a real barbershop type conversation, and that's my boy over there. That's the vanilla gorilla over there. That's why I call him.
Stop.
Dan,
time out. Chat, do not allow this man to do this to us. Do not allow this man to just do this like this. Come on, Grounders, where you at? Rise the heck up, man.
Dan, why don't you
Jeff
plug
take
your
us
channel
down
real quick, bro? Tell him what you're all about.
Hey, man, this is Unintentional Grounding. Lieutenant Dan, film breakdowns, hardcore Falcons fan that looks at everything at every angle. I don't promise that you'll like my takes. I don't promise that you'll agree with my stuff, but I make you think, and I make you look outside of the box. I make you look at it from multiple different angles. We break it down film-wise, data-wise. We even go into the realm of possibilities that, crazy stuff that could potentially happen, just so that we get a better understanding of what is going on with the Falcons as a whole. And we've got guys, here and there, under rocks, behind trees, with great information that are able to actually give us an opportunity to tell you what's going on behind the scenes to some degree. So that's what I'm all about, man. I'm all about just giving you guys the facts and the truth. And on top of that, giving you some sick Apex gameplay. But, that's just me.
And that's what I love about guys like you, Mad Mike, Rise Up. We tell fans what they need to hear and not what they want to hear. A lot of times I see YouTubers who are kind of yes men to their fan base and, say what fans want to hear. But, sometimes, the truth hurts, and we got to talk about the real shit.
Absolutely. There's a lot of times when you've got to be realistic. You've got to put down the controller for a second and stop thinking that you're playing Madden. And I know that gets old and tired, but it seems to rear its ugly head every single year, regardless of whether we talk about free agency, the draft, how the Falcons build their team and roster. People's feelings get into this a lot. I know that, there are some content creators out there that'll, rile up with the fans' feelings, but sometimes you got to just be told the cold hard facts, and that's what I'm all about, man. And that's what sometimes we all have to hear at the end of the day. That things aren't as sweet as they're supposed to be, but they can get better.
Speaking about cold hard facts, I apologize, everybody. Lieutenant Dan is using a bootleg camera. That's why it's not turning on right now. So we're gonna go audio for this. I apologize. We try to fix it, but it's all good. I'm just playing, man. So let's get into it. The Bucks win the Super Bowl. I know you in Florida. Rise Up Rundowns in Florida. How did that hurt, man? And are you seeing Bucks fans everywhere now? Are they just out of the woodworks now?
It's really funny, but yeah, they're kind of just out and about. You see people coming out with, the Bucks masks and Bucks handkerchiefs, and they have Bucks hats and jerseys coming out here. You got, people coming out of the woodwork and kind of just proclaiming and staking. But isn't that just after every Super Bowl, regardless of the team that's out there that wins the Super Bowl? Closet fans or fans from, underneath the rocks and behind the woodshed will just come out of nowhere, and they'll just, flood the fan base with a vibrant set of fans. And that could be the casual football watcher that kind of liked your team. Think of all the casual Atlanta Falcons fans that are out there. If the Falcons were to win the Super Bowl, that their fan base would probably jump by 50%. So yeah, it kind of goes twofold. When you win that big of a game and you make that accomplishment happen, there's going to be fans out of the woodshed, just out of nowhere.
And as much as I hate the Bucs, you got to give them their credit. You know, they went through Breeze, Rodgers, Mahomes. They did their thing. Tom Brady knew what he was doing when he joined the Bucs. You know, a lot of people, oh, the Bucs were bad last year. No, Jameis Winston had so many turnovers. It kept the defense on the field, and they didn't. And Bruce Arians was all vertical passing routes, did not utilize the run game. Brady comes in, they run the football over more. They don't turn the ball over, and the defense looked revitalized and refreshed all year. You know, they add Antoine Winfield, and they look so much better as a team. So you got to give them credit. With that said, let's talk about the NFC South window real quick. Bucs win the Super Bowl. Breeze likely to retire. Deshaun Watson potentially, rumors are that the Panthers might try to go get him. What do you see about the NFC South window? Do you think it's going to be a Bucs dominating until Brady retires, or do you think it's wide open for everybody?
I don't think it's necessarily wide open. I think you currently have Patriots light in Tampa right now. And I know that everybody's going to go, well, Dan, or Jeff, Tampa won't last that long. Tom Brady will start falling off. You'll see him just fall off that cliff, and he'll just, the Bucs will fall apart. Guys, this Bucs team could go get Marcus Mariota for all I care, and that defense will still carry them to 9 wins. And that's the scary thing, is that this team still has $28 million in open cap for this year, not 2021, 2020. And that cap rolls over. So what you're looking at is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have a ridiculous amount of cap. They could retool and go get like Odell Beckham Jr. and have more than enough cap to spare for other players they want to keep on the roster, and still have enough for their draft class. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hold the cards right now. Whether Brady falls off and they retool with somebody else, or Brady keeps going, and at the rate that Brady is going, I believe he still has 3 more seasons, and the 3rd season will be the one where he just kind of really falls off.
I agree with that one part, Dan. Let me push back, because Shaq Barrett recently said, I think it's time to break the bank. They also have Chris Godwin, AB, Sue, Levante David, Gronk, Joe Haig. I don't think you say the Bucs cap is that good. Can they? I don't think they can re-sign everybody. I think Chris Godwin might be one of those guys who might leave. Shaq Barrett might be one of those guys you can't repay him. He's gonna want tons of money. This is his first big payday.
I understand where that comes through, and I totally agree that when you win a Super Bowl, people will start coming to ask for money and start getting paid, unless you have Tom Brady on the team. And if you remember correctly, a Tom Brady who demands success. He was over there with the defensive players partying.
Yeah.
This guy commands success. This is the same guy that was like, axe this dude, swap that guy out in New England. Him and Belichick were just like, eject this guy, get this guy out of here, move this chess piece in, get another good wide receiver, get another dude here, change the offense so it runs something a little bit different. These guys are all most likely going to ebb and flow with the way that Tom Brady and Bruce Arians wants that team to ebb and flow. And when it's time, Brady will leave. But until then, yeah, that's great. Shaq Barrett, fantastic. You want some money. Good for you. And it's not going to be with the Bucs. And they will retool with another guy. Because the Bucs for the last 3 years have been killing it in the draft. So let's not pretend that this group isn't going to at least get a guy or two at that position.
I agree, but you think Shaq Barrett's just another guy? I mean, he's literally the strength of their pass rush.
I never said that. I'm asking I think that Shaq Barrett is a fantastic player, and it would be a terrible thing to see him leave Tampa. But I do believe that Shaq Barrett can be replaced. It's not to say that he's another guy. It's to say that there's a lot of things that made that defense great. Shaq Barrett was one of the guys that terrorized there. But with more than enough money to let a Shaq Barrett go and then grab, say, another up-and-coming rusher, they have that cap. And yes, there are some other pieces that could potentially go up and down. You know what I'm saying? But again, they're drafting so well. I think the cap, with how much cap that they currently have, and the fact that they are hitting on all cylinders in the draft, man, it's going to be hard because New Orleans is in cap hell. Carolina is still in a rebuild and still looking for the quarterback. And of course, we'll get to the Atlanta Falcons in just a little bit, but you take in all three of those teams who are not in good positions and look at Tampa, which are just like, yeah, we won a Super Bowl. And I guess we'll all be back next year. That's what they're all kind of like saying right now.
Well, what do you think about the Saints situation? Brees likely to retire. They have Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston. I don't think either of those guys are the future of that team.
Man, that's tough, dude, because you and I both would love the Saints to go back to brown paper bagging.
Yes.
But honestly, as long as Sean Payton is there, I don't believe that they'll ever get to that level ever again. So what I believe is what's going to happen is a massive fire sale. And you already saw it with who was just cut by the Saints today, actually, and they freed up like $10 million in cap or some silliness. One of their center,
I know PJ Williams is leaving.
PJ Williams and then
Pete, Malcolm Jenkins. They're losing a bunch of guys.
Where is it? It's Schefter said I don't want to drag it on, but they got rid of one of their center / guards who's been with the team for a hot minute, and he was originally with the Vikings. And they got rid of him, and you start thinking of Terry Fontenot, kind of looking, not to try to get into a Falcons conversation here, because I know you want to cover the Panthers next, but Terry Fontenot probably looking at that situation and going, I know which players are good and bad coming out of that organization. There might be a guy or two that I want to snatch up that they're going to have to get rid of due to cap complications. And they got a long way to go before they're even close to zero.
I agree. Before we get into the Panthers, let's just shout out everybody in the chat. Calvin Alves says, how's Leo doing tonight? Oh, Leo's doing great. I want to appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who just commented on Leo's situation. He's back to good health, and I just thank everybody for even caring about that. Philip Bonner says, let's go. What's up, y'all? Nothing much. We got Unintentional Grounded, the man, Lieutenant Dan in the house. Andre Taylor says, yo, what's up? Dior Mentality says, I'm pissed at Todd Gurley. Was there Todd Gurley news I didn't hear about? I know he's asking for $5.5 million. That's the market for him, but we'll get into that later. Andre Tyler says, saw that Brees will take a pay cut a few weeks ago. Yeah, he wants to restructure to help the Saints out, but he's apparently still retiring. Edgar Sosa, what's up, Jeff? Wallace Smith, what's up, Jeff? Good to see you back. Appreciate it, man. Jack Swagger in the house as well. Appreciate you guys. All right, Carolina Panthers. It seems like no matter what they do, they always still searching for a quarterback, and they always try to fix it with a Band-Aid every year, and it never seems to work. I think they have to go quarterback in this draft. What do you think? Trey Lance, maybe?
Well, Carolina's in a weird situation right now. If you really kind of look at Carolina as a whole, they almost sold the farm to go get Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And that means that they are desperate enough to take as many picks as they need, or, clear as much cap space as they have to grab a quarterback with a veteran arm. It does, what I'm kind of looking at here is that they want a guy with experience already. So what guys are currently sitting right now as potential trades, as potential cuts, as guys who are currently already on the market? And one name that really keeps jumping out to me as, wow, that could be that guy that hits Carolina is Derek Carr.
That's interesting.
Really, really odd, but I think they might actually call up the Raiders and go, a gunslinger in an offense currently that looks like it's going to still be who's the current offensive coordinator in Carolina? It's is it Joe Brady?
Joe Brady.
Yeah. He still didn't find a job, so he'll probably be back with Carolina. And Joe Brady wants to dial up a system that's going to let a gunslinger do what he wants. And so that's why they went after Stafford. That's why I believe they'll potentially go after Carr. And that way they can have a guy that can give them some instant success now, because I think they see the roster for what it is, still a work in progress. And this is year 2 or 3 now of their new head coach being there. So they need to have some momentum. They don't have time, and that's why I think they also got Teddy Bridgewater. They were more than happy to get Bridgewater instead of try to go into the last QB class, so that they could tie it over until they found themselves either as one of the top picks for the best quarterback or grabbing a veteran because the market is trying to sell on quarterbacks in their mid, late 20s, mid 30s.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I still believe in the Panthers wide receivers. They need a few more things on defense, but I think you still got to run it through Christian McCaffrey, though. I mean, he's the heart and soul of that team, but they are a quarterback away from being competitive. I think that's the main problem.
Defensively, they have most of the pieces already set. What they need is just the resurgence of good luck. Because they can be a really good team, especially with just, like a Carr, Mariota. You Wentz, if they really, pushed really hard on the Eagles, but I know the Eagles probably wouldn't want to trade him within the conference. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah. So let's get into the Atlanta Falcons and that tough conversation that seems like nobody wants to have, because the moment you say draft a quarterback, people call you a Matt Ryan hater. They want to burn your house down. The Falcons' window in this division moving forward. I don't think me or you is saying, hey, let's get rid of Matt Ryan this offseason. That's not what we're saying. We're saying you got a plan for the future. You don't want to wait to the last minute to have a quarterback, ride Matt Ryan till the wheels fall off, and then now you are in a situation where you don't have anybody. So I always think it's good to plan. And the conversation of moving Matt, how much window do you think Matt has? I think 2 to 3 years is a good window for Matt Ryan, and we can still be a playoff contending team. I don't know how long does it take for us to be a Super Bowl contending team, because we have so many parts of our team that we need to fix, whether it's the run game, defense, offensive line. I know coaching helps a lot, but guys are getting older, contracts are getting bad, and we also have to look towards the future and building towards the future. So, Dan, what do you think about the Falcons window? And I think whatever vision Terry and Arthur Smith have for the future, that's going to determine that's going to be based on Matt Ryan's longevity and how long they think this team can contend. Because what's the point of having Matt Ryan on a team that can't contend? So give me your thoughts on that.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm just going to go flat out and say it. This team currently right now does not have the roster capable enough to take them to the next level in the short term. It's not a roster that's going to win you enough games to go into the playoffs and be effective. That is the unfortunate truth and nature of what we currently have in Atlanta.
Correct.
It's a broken team. You can point to individual pieces if you would like. Matt Ryan, Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Julio Jones, AJ Terrell. You can point to all the bright spots you want. And you can point to coaching, magically making everything better. But that's not how that works. So how does this situation get better without going into an hour-long speech? This Falcons team either needs to be ultra aggressive, which means they are going to be utilizing not only their cap this year, what little of it do they do have, even from clearing people out and max restructuring a bunch of contracts, but also utilizing 2022 and 2023's cap to backload contracts instead of having them on the front load. Or this team has to be super ultra conservative. There is no in between. Because any in between trying to commit to not only keeping Ryan, but also trying to build the roster up is just going to waste Matt Ryan's time.
Absolutely.
And we know this because if you're trying to build a team around Ryan, those players that you're trying to develop aren't going to develop at the same rate that Ryan is playing. So if Ryan and them are already playing way up here and you have all of these rookies and a bunch of free agents that don't know your team yet, don't know the system yet, it's going to take a year just for that to work. So, okay, now you're in 2022. And then you have another draft. And maybe at this point, maybe your defense is starting to look pretty decent. But now Ryan's gotten a year older. And if you miss that shot in 2022, 2023 basically is the end of Ryan. That's it. It's gone. It's over. You have a 3-year window. That's it. Because his contract runs out.
I agree.
2022, you have the cut.
Julio and Ryan are elite players. So you cannot waste the rest of their years with being conservative and middling around 7-9, 8-8, not doing anything. So if fans truly think that they still, got it, have elite level, and we still can bounce back with new coaching and a new system, then we have to be ultra aggressive. That should be the only option, because you can't play safe and waste these guys' times, like you said.
Yep.
They don't have the window, and our cap needs to be fixed as well. And so with that said, the conversation of having the bridge quarterback behind Matt Ryan to learn, I know a lot of people think it's blasphemy to say that, but I want to talk about it. First, I want to talk about Trevor Lawrence and our management taking a look at his pro day. I know you made a tweet about it earlier today. What is your take on that?
Well, I think you're doing your due diligence. You're obviously going up there, going to go see Trevor Lawrence, going to see what he's worth. He's right around the corner from Atlanta, so it's not even that big of a deal to go see him, regardless of restrictions and whatnot. It's literally down the road. And really, man, if the Falcons wanted to be, again, this is that other side of the coin. If the Falcons want to be ultra aggressive, they can do it in two ways. They can be ultra aggressive and they can put everything around Ryan in 1 year and hope that it works, or they can be ultra aggressive and they could be like, everybody out, and we are bringing Trevor Lawrence to Atlanta. It can be done. The Jags are not fools. If they were given a ransom, they would take it. And I don't want to hear any pity party or piss poss in the chat about how they would never. They traded how many picks to go get Julio Jones? And there were teams that were basically giving the same exact amount of picks to go up there. And the Falcons won out on that bid. So let's remember, no matter who was going to jump up to go get Julio Jones, they were going to have to pay the Falcons price or better. And it just so happens the Falcons had the better price. So don't you dare think sitting at 4 that a Terry Fontenot and an Arthur Smith, who want to start their legacy not trying to, put a crutch up for a guy that's not even theirs, who's at the end of his career.
Right.
That they wouldn't do that in a heartbeat, because a young head coach and a young GM just partnering up for the first time. None of the dudes that are on this roster are their guys, and this is an evaluation year for what it's worth. So you go up there and you go look at Trevor Lawrence and you go, are we in love with Trevor Lawrence? And then what would be the asking price, and can we bite that bullet? And that's a crazy conversation to have. That's one that, like, Jeff is currently looking like, please don't do that. Like, I can see it in your face. You're like, oh no, please. No.
Hey, that's too aggressive for me in my taste.
Very aggressive, right?
If you want to plan for the future, look at Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, but moving up that far, you talking about giving away our picks for this guy? That's too aggressive for me.
This
personally.
Sounds exactly the same as the Julio Jones people who were against the trade and the people who were for the trade. The people that were for the trade were like, unbelievable talent, going to make an instant impact, the guy, the beast, going to be a beast going forward. But how many people were shouting about that? Not many.
Oh, well, I'm not an absolutist where I think trading up is either amazing or awful. I think there's nuances to everything. So in one situation like Julio, it makes perfect sense. In another situation like this one, I tend to disagree. And that's the whole point of the video I made, the recent video I made. And it's about how there's two schools of thoughts with Falcons fans. And I'm not a black and white person. One school of thought is, if you take a quarterback, the sky is falling, we'll never rebuild this defense. What the fuck are we doing? And then the other school of thought is, Matt Ryan's washed. We got to replace him, move on. I think two things can be true at the same time. I think you can draft a quarterback to have Matt Ryan, to learn under Matt Ryan, be the bridge. And at the same time, you can build the defense. You can build it in free. It's not like we only have one pick. We have other picks to fix this team. Grady Jarrett wasn't a first-round pick. There's other guys who weren't first-round picks, and they still ended up being great players. I did some research on first-round edge rushers, and only 50% of them pan out to be superstars. So the draft is a crapshoot, and it's not like we pick a first-round guy. He's guaranteed to be a superstar, and automatically that one player, like you said, is going to fix the entire defense. That's not true. We have issues at, safety, pass rush. I think we need another defensive tackle. I think we need another corner outside of AJ Terrell. So there's other ways to, carve this turkey, and it's not just a one route thing. And, for people who want to do the Penny Sewell route or the Parsons route, I'm not mad at that. I just need to know what we're going to do after that, because if we draft a Penny Sewell or a Parsons and the rest of our draft is shit, then I'm not going to be happy. But if we draft a Justin Fields and then we knock it out the park with the rest of the draft, then I will be happy. So it's not a black and white thing, and I see a lot of Falcons fans, they tend to make it that it's one or the other. It's you draft the quarterback, you're a Matt Ryan hater, like you're not a real fan, and then it's Matt Ryan's washed, which no one believes that. No real Falcon fan believes he's washed, and we need to replace it and go super aggressive for the Trevor Lawrence route. So the draft, in your opinion, what route would you go?
Well, I would have to see how this QB market falls. And I know that's like not answering your question. So I'll answer your question in full, but I just want to state that anything that I would do would all be dictated on who did what in the QB market, because that is actually going to be like everything that we're all going to be talking about this offseason. It's going to be intense. But to answer your question, Jeff, what would I do in the draft? If we took a left guard, I would not even bother with Penei Sewell, and I would hang him on a carrot, like on a stick kind of deal. And I would put that in front of the Bengals, and I would be like, we'll take them. You want them? We'll take them. You want them? We'll take them.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but a lot of people in this chat are going to chop your head off. Please explain, be clear why you would not take Sewell, because a lot of people are dying for this guy because he's a mauler.
I had already painted that out. If you go in free agency and you had taken your guard, which I had said, then you don't need to take Sewell. You're fine. If you go into free agency and grab a guy, I'm not talking about a Carpenter or a Brown. We overhype these things because we bought into that Kool-Aid.
Oh, no, don't put my name in that.
Oh, no. I'm saying fans in general. The fans in general. It doesn't have to be you. Fans in general bought into, everything's fixed. Everything's okay. We're all good. So to me, it's you bring in a guard, then you tell everybody else, we've got Penei Sewell. We could just take him and then be gone with Jake Matthews and trade off Jake Matthews if we want to. Jake's in the latter half of the prime of his career.
Right.
So he is currently on that I'm going past the empty mark. And he could still have another good 7 years in the NFL playing for somebody. That contract is also movable. So again, there's so many different routes. Honestly, dude, I'm going quarterback number 4. I'm not worrying about it. Because you're not going to be in this position again. Arthur Smith will probably make sure of that. Regardless of whether it's Ryan or somebody else under center, he will probably make sure that we are not in the top 5, top 10, even potentially. Because I really do believe in this coaching staff. I do. So I take the quarterback. You know what? I'll let the cat out of the bag. Everybody already knows, but you know exactly which quarterback I'll take. I'm taking Trey Lance. It's the best upside that you're going to get. I'm not looking for a starter day one. What if Matt Ryan looks good this year?
Right.
What if Matt Ryan looks great? Then you roll with him again. Oh, look, Trey Lance got another year of experience. There's no wasted space here. There's no waste on a quarterback sitting behind Ryan if Ryan looks good, right?
And that's investment. That's why I've been trying to tell fans every day. It's like when we say we're going to take a quarterback, they think, oh, you're going to start him right away. You're going to replace Ryan. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying Ryan is the bridge to the future. He's still going to play. He's still going to be solid. We still can build the team, but you need that quarterback. I said the alternative. Let's just say, we don't take a quarterback. We build the defense up, build the run game up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We ride Matt Ryan till the wheels fall off. So now we look like the Chicago Bears. Great defense, great everything, no quarterback. And that I don't want that extreme either. I want to be a well-balanced team on both sides. And to have that Aaron Rodgers sat behind Favre. Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. Packers draft Jordan Love and they still make the NFC Championship. Like, it's not the end of the world if you draft a quarterback to back up.
Yeah, I think that, and Jason Greenway just said it in the chat. I think you draft quarterback at 4. You don't worry about this for 2 years. That's 2 years of development time, and by the 3rd year comes in, you'll know who Trey Lance is once that year's done. So you'll have 3 solid years of playing with Trey Lance. In my opinion, this is my pick. Trey Lance comes in, he can run your offense. If Matt Ryan looks good this year, then you take him in the next year, and if he starts looking bad next year, guess what? That's the year, 2022 is the year that his contract can be cut, and we gain all that cap back. So you're literally playing chess, not checkers here. You're going, I know where the dominoes fall, so if I just take a quarterback at 4, sit him behind Ryan looks like garbage this year, then you're cutting him next year. If you look great this year, you roll the dice on him in 2022, and if he starts looking bad, you bench him. You bench him and cut him, or trade him. You trade him to somebody else, because 2022 still gives you that aggression. So you can easily train a guy behind a Matt Ryan, Wilson, Fields, Lawrence, Mac Jones. I don't care who it is. Well, actually, I do care who it is, but just as long as it's not Trask. But everybody else, Kellen Mond, I wouldn't care. Just anybody else other than Trask behind Matt Ryan for at least a year, maybe even 2. That's going to get that experience is just unattainable by most QBs when they come into the league. A lot of QBs get thrusted into bad situations, right, Jeff? Where they're just ruined, Ruined.
Now, I haven't seen a lot of Trey Lance. Could you explain what you see that makes you want to take him above the rest of the other quarterbacks?
If you took and a lot of people in this chat are going to be like, ew, that's gross. If you took everything that was good about Cam Newton and everything that was good about Ryan Tannehill in the Arthur Smith offense, like all those good things, and you put those 2 things together and turn the speed from 10 to 8 on a 10 scale, then Trey Lance. He can run the read option. He can hit the intermediate pass. He can hit the short pass. He's shown that he can hit things in an area, not just at a target, but in an area, leading his wide receivers where they need to go. He strikes with accuracy at long range. In the intermediate range, he has an incredible falling ball or leading ball that allows his wide receivers to be able to run upfield instead of having to catch from behind and getting hit. He doesn't take big risks for his wide receivers, doesn't put them in bad spots and situations. He has an incredible running of field awareness. Early in games, he'll get a little clamped in, but in a lot of ways, he can come out and start to open that game up and break the game. In a lot of ways, what Cam Newton was able to do in a lot of games. So if you liked everything that Ryan Tannehill was doing last year in Tennessee and was flicking the ball and running and being just annoying as hell for anybody who had to play against him, and then took all the good muscle and power that Cam Newton had, plus the accuracy and the flick when he was in the league early on, that is Trey Lance. And he doesn't have to run every play, but he has experience under center, experience in the shotgun, knows how to do RPOs. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. Think about him behind Matt Ryan, and you don't have the next Pat Mahomes. You don't. You probably have the next Josh Allen, though, a much more accurate Josh Allen, a pocket passing Josh Allen.
Okay. Now, in case you guys are new to this chat, Lieutenant Dan unintentional grounding. This man watches film religiously, breaks down quarterbacks, so he knows what he's talking about. I just want to say shout out to everybody in this chat real quick. Let's go to the chat. Little Biscuit says trade down for Najee. I think we have more problems to fix before that. We get to that. Wallace Smith, I think this is for you, Dan. He says, do y'all realize from 2009 2016, there's only one QB still with the team that drafted them, and that is Wentz, and he went out. So you don't have to draft a quarterback in the first round.
Do we really want to get into
I don't. I could spend all day on that one. Jason Greenway. I like Zach Wilson, even though Roddy don't. Yeah. For the culture, a lot of people don't like Zach Wilson because of his political ties, but I don't want to get into that either. But there was also a false report that he wasn't a captain, but he actually was the captain of the team. So a lot of people are trying to bury him already.
And he was one of those captains.
Yeah,
and you can see it in like every picture. And everyone's like, what? And who did this come from? Todd McShay. Wow.
So a lot of people are already trying to bury him. You know, Todd McShay's mock draft came out. They had the Panthers taking Trey Lance, by the way, your man. So
I know
that might fit, you know, reincarnation of Cam Newton, just like you said.
It's scary, bro. He's good.
Hey, I'll be scared if they get Deshaun Watson. I'll tell you that much right now.
Deshaun, Jeff, man, if you know. No, never mind. No. I'm not going to say it. Everybody
don't tell me you don't
think
that's good. That's a good idea for them.
I'll just my two pieces sealed.
Okay.
No.
Mitch, thoughts on the Falcons trading back and getting Parsons, Surtain, or Farley? Well, we don't have to. I don't think we have to trade back to get Parsons. I actually think this draft is going to be a top quarterback heavy draft. To be honest with you, a lot of those teams look like they're going to need a future quarterback. Surtain is an interesting one. I know you say our cap is bad, Dan. I just wanted to throw out an idea for you. They are saying that Stephon Gilmore is possibly available for a trade. Anyway, we have the ability to get him, because if we do, we wouldn't have to draft a cornerback.
You're going to get one shot at one good free agent this offseason and a bunch of just like low line guys after that. So the idea is by utilizing the cap to get above that line. After you get above that line, was that March 17th line, I think is what they have, or I think it's March. It's either March 1st or March 17th. I can't remember, but both of those dates you have to be under the cap, not over it.
Right.
So right now they're currently at $23 million or $27 million over the cap currently right now. So they need to start making rapid cuts. And they need to make restructures to get there. There is a lot of ways that you can obtain that and get anywhere from $14 to $28 million over the cap. So it's possible to go and grab a guy this offseason that's going to help you really well, whether that's the trenches or the opposite trenches, or grab yourself a corner. That's a possibility. Corner could be off the board for us. We go grab another guy out there. So there's a lot of ways to think about it. I think you could do it. You could definitely do it. But it's just up to whether or not Terry Fontenot and company think that that's worth their time. Because you got to think about what kind of players have they established,
Yeah, and I like J.C. Horn in a later round if he's available. That's a guy we can possibly take. Jason Greenway says I'll take. C. Mitch Fields is a much better passer than Trey Lance. He's saying. Greenway, I'll take Fields or Wilson. I think Wilson has a little more upside, but they're close. Haven't watched a lot of them. What do you think about Wilson versus Fields?
Wilson versus Fields is just who has the better throwing motion, and Wilson does. So Fields, honestly, is my QB4. I don't mean any disrespect to Fields, but like there is mechanics that he needs to fix. When he fixes those mechanics, he's most likely going to be one of the most solid prospects, but he's going to need a year or two to fix those mechanics because he seems to stutter when he goes to throw his arm back, kind of like his elbow cocks out. And then when he goes to wind up, it seems the elbow swings forward before the arm swings forward. And what he needs to do is he needs to drop that elbow back and then fling forward with the wrist first so that he gets the best velocity off of it. he needs to be tighter in his motion, not as wide.
I also noticed versus Clemson, he was way more decisive, and he saw what he was looking out there. Versus Alabama, when the coverage got tighter, it seemed like he was less confident about making those throws, and he pulled the ball down a lot. He took more sacks, and his game was off when it seemed like his first read wasn't there. And I agree with you. That's why I like Field, because I'm not expecting him to start right away. I think a year or two he'll be ready to rock and roll. And I'm perfectly okay with that. If you're a real fan, you're in here for the long haul. That's what we're supposed to be, right?
Right.
So David Adams, something about Trey Lance suggests a very good QB moving forward. I agree. If Dan says he's Cam Newton and comparable to Tannehill, I hope he's more on the Tannehill side, because I don't want that much running from prime Cam Newton. I want less running, more running to get guys open. That's what I want. I don't need guys out there like Lamar Jackson where they're running around. I don't need that, because it's proven in the playoffs. It does not work once you face the greater defenses and they figure out what you're doing. And once they take away your run, you need to be able to beat people from the pocket. And I don't want a pure running around quarterback. This is a different league. We gotta have some mobility, but also we still gotta have that pocket presence.
The craziest thing is that the quarterback that runs the most is Wilson, and the second most running quarterback is actually, I believe, Fields, if I'm not mistaken, and then it's Lance, and then it's Lawrence, which is like crazy because they all ran like a bunch. All of them have the ability to scamper, not necessarily just be runners, but like scamper, create space, and have guys back up and cover guys versus take away the space for them to scamper for yardage. So it's scary that they have a really, really good arm on all four of these guys that is accurate and can hit the guys where they need to be, but also they all have the ability to be able to gain a first down if need be. So it's very, very interesting to see, like the very fine details, I think, is going to be the difference in who takes who as far as the draft is concerned with the quarterbacks.
Totally agree. If you're new to this chat, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my man Unintentional Grounding, Lieutenant Dan. Subscribe to my channel, Jazzy Jeff Real Talk. If you guys didn't know, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a channel without Lieutenant Dan. So this is my guy right here. I always say that if I'm Luke Skywalker, Lieutenant Dan is Yoda, okay? That's what he is. He is one with the Force. He's the man. He puts everything together. And I can't say good enough things about Lieutenant Dan, man. So I appreciate you joining my show. Please subscribe to his channel. He also does gaming. He breaks down film. He does everything. Please check out his channel. He's one of the best out there to do it. Before we get into the free agents, I want to talk a little more about the draft. One of the things people, I see a lot of mock drafts and people are saying Najee Harris with the second round pick. I just want Falcon fans to understand, I don't think Najee Harris is going to be around in the second draft. He's going to be gone in the first round. Dan, what do you think about that?
I think there is going to be a lot of hype on Najee Harris. The big thing will be the comparison to Derrick Henry. And there will be a lot of people that will be clamoring for that. There already are. I think Najee Harris is definitely not going to be in the second round. I believe Najee Harris is probably going to be late first round on a team that wants to add a spectacular back. I think he's going to be a fantastic back. The one that I'm worried about is ETN, which I think is actually a guy that is going to be in the second round because he doesn't have that prototypical size. He doesn't have the measurables that you are desiring. He has a lot of tread on his tire that got worn off because he ran so much in Clemson. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at him and go, maybe he's, not first round worthy. He's second round worthy. He's very comparable actually to Tevin Coleman in a lot of ways, except that he has better a balance than Tevin Coleman. A lot of shoelace tackles to take down Tevin Coleman, and Travis Etienne doesn't have that. He'll take a shoelace and stop and then speed back up and keep going. So
I was actually going to say he kind of looks like Alvin Kamara to me.
Oh yeah, very similar too. That's a good one.
But Alvin Kamara is so rare. Too. Alvin Kamara is so rare where he can still take the big hits and he can still catch and cut on a dime. I am a little. Here's my fear, Dan. the Falcons love their little small running backs, their little scat backs, and I am so done with that, Dan, because when we need a push for a first down, when we need a goal line run, we can't get shit. And I just want to go back to Michael Turner. I want to go back to Patrick DeMarco, close my eyes and just watch them rip and just demolish people. And Najee Harris can tote that rock. Another guy I want to talk about is Javonte Williams, I believe UNC. What do you think about him? He is more the size of Nick Chubb. He has the same exact height and weight.
I won't say that I'm not a fan. I do like him.
What are you not a fan of?
No. I'm saying that I won't say that I'm not a fan.
Okay.
But I'm not a super fan or anything. I would much rather take Trey Sermon than Javonte Williams. But Javonte Williams is an excellent back, and if we did get him, I would love him on the team. I just not my original first selection,
Trey Sermon is tough as nails, but
yeah.
What is his prognosis after that injury he suffered in the playoffs?
Oh, it definitely hurts his draft status. I mean, that probably knocks him maybe into the 4th round. There's going to be probably people saying that Trey Sermon is injury prone, which could be true, definitely true. You could also say that Javonte Williams doesn't have, elite burst, but, all these things being what they are, I think though all of those things are fake news. Javonte Williams has an excellent burst, and Trey Sermon I don't think is going to be hampered by these injuries for too long. He gets into the NFL and he's given a proper diet and a proper training team. This guy's going to be scary. Very, very reliable back.
And so your first round, you wanted to go Trey Lance. What would you do with the next pick, Dan?
Oh, if I went into the 2nd round, wow. If any one of the safeties was available, I think Richie Grant is just an elite safety prospect, which I don't know if a lot of people in here would really necessarily like, because I hear a lot of Trey Smith stuff and offensive linemen. I hear a lot of people say offensive linemen in the 2nd round. But I would start fixing the defense with, whether it's Mohang or from TCU or, Richie Grant from UCF. I would love to grab one of those two boys. Javon Holland has cooled off for me heavily just because of concerns of being able to actually flip his hips and get to a spot. So I know that's a popular name among Falcons fans from Oregon, but that's going to probably turn out to be a guy that's think more Weems as a defender than as a wide receiver kind of deal. You love the speed until it starts getting older and then the speed's gone. And you can see that in that player.
Okay. Me personally, I would do Fields and then maybe like a Balmore from Alabama or J.C. Horn, South Carolina cornerback. I think corner and we need another defensive tackle, but corner and linebacker and a pass rush I think are more important than a safety right now. Which I want to get into the free agents because Keanu Neal is one of the people I want to talk about. You think Rico is gone after this year?
Yeah, Rico's most likely cut. The cap hit would serve well for what they're doing, and he's older.
So the guys you're looking at in the draft for the 2nd pick would be a free safety.
Safety? Most likely a free safety. I think both Merhang and Richie Grant both are very good free safeties. I know that a lot of people say that Trevon is a strong safety, and I don't think that we're going to be bringing Neal back. So I'm pretty sure both Ricardo Allen and Keanu Neal are going to be gone due to how much money it would take to be able to bring him in. I think if we crunch the numbers, it's something like the average of the top 15 safeties is what it's going to cost to franchise tag Keanu Neal. And that is probably like $13 million or something like that. I think that's the average right now. So you're going to be paying 13 for just the franchise tag. And then you're going to have to spread that franchise tag plus whatever else you're paying him. So you're probably going to be looking at $11-12 million per year for Keanu Neal, who hasn't been healthy. It's just not a good look, man. That's a very Dimitrov move. And I love Neal as much as everybody, but I think he's most likely headed to Dallas. You're going to see him probably get to Dallas.
Well, we'll get into the free agents in a second. Just staying with the draft real quick.
Yeah.
I want to talk real quick. Two guys, Georgia guys. I know you're a Clemson fan, but do you still follow Georgia football?
Yeah, I'll follow it from time to time. I'm open to most and all football. I love just watching the game in general. So I don't just watch one game and then I'm done watching for the day. I watch a lot of people. I live football too much.
I'm a fan of LeCount on Georgia. How do you feel about him?
I am a fan. I actually am a fan. I believe he could do wonders for a team. He's got all the talents to be able to play the position and ultimately, dude, with the way that the team currently is structured, where what we've got going on right now, he might be a pretty decent addition if you actually add him to the unit.
And then the other guy, God, he's a pass rusher. I cannot pronounce his name. He has that African name.
Awojawari.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to butcher that. Go ahead. How do you feel about if the Falcons were to take him?
That is very Leonard Floyd of everybody, or I guess there's a couple others that are very similar to him, like Arden Key is another similarity, but yeah, man, like Anthony Barr is another very good similarity.
Anthony Barr, solid. We get Anthony Barr.
I look, man, you get a guy that can play the Vic Beasley style of player, but be productive, play that linebacker, but also play that defensive end. That's not trash.
Vic Beasley.
I mean, look, if Vic Beasley had been given a tougher coach, that had been like, look, if you really love this game, then you're going to play linebacker and you're going to be the greatest, and inspire him, then he would have been the greatest. There were the talent was there. As he got to do what he wanted to do and got to say what he wanted to say and play what he wanted to play, he ended up showing that he's not that top tier talent because he's being selfish in the game. So I don't want to get on a Vic Beasley rant, but Wojawari doesn't have any of those problems. Wojawari has already a better floor and has a higher ceiling.
No, real quick, Dan. There's some guys, I think most of us have played football before, where no matter how much a coach is giving a rah-rah speech, there's some guys who just go through the motions, and you can't coach them into something that has to be inside you. That fire has to be inside you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Some guys, they need an extra push, but if you don't have that initial fire, you're not going to go far. And I just think Vic Beasley was one of those guys who just, to me, he was too casual of a person, a player. He didn't have that. And there was reports saying that he wanted to be like a minister his whole life anyways. So I don't know, but I don't want to get into the Vic Beasley soapbox. Let's get into the free agents. I want to go over three key free agents and talk more deeper into them. And then I want to go into the fire round with you. So the first free agent I want to talk about is Todd Gurley. The market that he's asking for is $5.5 million. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry, 9 touchdowns, 678 yards. In and out of the games due to his injuries, arthritic knee. For comparison, Brian Hill had a higher yard per carry, 4.7. Ito Smith had a higher yards per carry, 4.3. I am one of those people who says hell no to bringing back Todd Gurley. I think we can do better anywhere. That knee is only going to get worse, and he's damaged goods at this point. What are your thoughts on Todd Gurley?
Yeah, you just said them all. Next. Like, there's no need for Todd Gurley. You haven't tried Quadri Allison yet, who has the size and ability. We've just stashed him away. Ito Smith has been given the opportunity because either he's been injured or he's been stashed behind Brian Hill or Todd Gurley. So let them play. So next.
Well, first of all, the Quadri situation, I feel like I wrote down a list of Dan Quinn's lies, and one of them was he said Quadri was going to be more than a goal line back. He was going to be heavily involved, and he wasn't. You really think Arthur Smith is going to involve him more? And what is Ito just going to be reduced back to the backup role?
Honestly, it's just up to what Arthur Smith wants to play as far as the style of running back he wants. So honestly, I don't think the RB situation is anything to really like harp on. If you look at the way that he utilized his running backs in Tennessee, yeah, he had a main back, but most of his guys rotated in and out with them. Todd Gurley. Derrick Henry was, the lead back, but when he was off the field, they were running Arthur Smith's offense to success, running the ball and passing the ball. They actually had a better offense with Derrick Henry off the field.
Oh yeah, because everyone knows where it's going. The defense it's more predictable when Derrick Henry's on the field, but we all know goal line. Derrick Henry's that dude. It was either Derrick Henry or it was Ryan Tannehill taking himself. So, but my question, Dan, is kind of tied to Matt Ryan. If we stay with Matt Ryan, obviously we're going to stay with Matt Ryan, but as a starter, he's not mobile like a Ryan Tannehill. Matt Ryan can scoot a little. If you give him the space, he'll take off and run, but he's not taking off from the 30-yard line and scoring a touchdown like a Ryan Tannehill I've seen before do. So do you think Arthur Smith is going to have to scale down some of those plays that he utilized with Tannehill?
I don't think you'll see Matt Ryan do anything that Tannehill did from a running standpoint, just because a lot of those plays were just Ryan Tannehill being able to run. Yeah, they ran a couple of plays that only Tannehill could probably perform because of his athletic ability, but I think it's more or less just limitations of what Ryan can do. So they'll probably dumb down the offense a little bit and have a guy behind him.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next I want to get into is Keanu Neal. I know you already gave your opinion. I want to play a little devil's advocate with you. He did come back and he played and started in 14 games. He had 76 tackles, which was the second best in his entire career. The 14 games he played, that was actually the most games he's played since 2017. So he has somewhat returned to playing actually consistently. 1 sack, first in his career, which I know that's not a big deal, but I know Dean Pease has said, which first of all, I love to hire Dean Pease. I think the creativity, the ingenuity of his play calling. He says he wants the offense to not know where we're coming from, and he's going to blitz everybody from every position. So that might give more opportunities to a Keanu Neal, getting more sacks, getting more opportunities to do more things that he didn't do before. And then he had 9 tackles for loss. That was a career high. So there is I understand everyone's fear about his injury proneness, but there is certain areas where he's actually had better stats than he's had in his entire career. So what do you think about if you make Keanu Neal maybe take a cheaper deal and not franchise tag him? Would you be okay with that?
Well, he has the first rights to take any other contract too. So if somebody offers him more money, yeah, he probably would want to return. But if he has an opportunity to go play with Dan Quinn again, or if he has an opportunity to play in a city of his choice that's going to pay him more than what we can offer him, he's going to take that shot at it. I mean, he's a free agent. This is opportunity. Just because he likes it, being in Atlanta doesn't mean that somebody can't tempt him, or the city is nice, or tax information, or anything else that could be positive for him in his situation. So Keanu Neal is definitely not something that I would try too hard to get back into Atlanta. Not that I wouldn't love his services, but you don't want to take a gamble on a guy who hasn't been able to stay healthy. This is the same kind of thing with Todd Gurley. If you don't believe Todd Gurley should come back because of the knee and because of just the kind of player he is at this point in his career, then you should probably feel that same way about Keanu Neal, is that it's just not a smart business decision. And so you have to kind of go, okay, that sucks that I don't get to have him back, but it would be better for us going forward if we get a healthier version of something like him or better.
I mean, but we also know that players don't always go for the big money. They also, some players take less money to play with. Like you said, players are coaches that they like to play with. So I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying pay Neal a boatload of money. I'm saying if possible, maybe can you do a 1 year prove it deal again? Can you, reduce this, bring him back for a reduced salary? Would that be something he'd be willing to do with a brand new coach, a brand new?
I mean, I'm not
GM?
Keanu O'Neal, so I don't know what's going through the mind of
that.
Keanu O'Neal and what he would want to do. So what would those things be possible? Maybe. But that again, that's up to Keanu O'Neal. If Keanu O'Neal, he said, "Oh, I'd love to come back on a 1 year prove it." What if he's like, "I don't have to prove anything. I already proved it in 2020. I came back healthy. I did what I needed to do. I was playing at a better level. I did what I had to do for this team. You guys are changing formula. Yeah, it's going to be fine for me, but you're probably not going to offer me the contract that I want. So I can go somewhere else to go find that money for me."
Then I'm okay with letting him walk in that situation.
Yeah. And that's most likely what you're going to see too. He'll probably test with us and see what kind of contract we want to give him, and then be like, okay, I'm fine with going somewhere else, and maybe even ends up in Dallas because Dallas is looking for that kind of guy that's going to give them the enforcer role. And maybe he does play really well in Dallas. I mean, it's a beautiful city. It's honestly super beautiful city. So, but those things aside, you said you had some rapid stuff for me too.
Oh, well, first, the third discussion I wanted to get into was Alex Mack before we get into the rapid round. Alex Mack, 35 years old, first time in Atlanta where he actually played 14 games instead of all 16. Where do you see him? I know we have Matt Hennessy who can slide to center if need be. What about Alex Mack? I know he was also interested in visiting the 49ers. He said they had some interest in maybe playing with Kyle Shanahan again.
As of right now, speculation. And as far as Mack is concerned, you started to see some of his limitations start to come to light. And the reason why Hennessy was drafted by this organization before the change in hands was to replace Alex Mack if they had survived long enough to see another year and another draft. So, yeah, I think that Hennessy is probably, the temporary future. There might be another guy drafted or another guy brought in through free agency, but Mack is most likely gone as well.
I definitely agree. I think his time has come and gone, and he's starting to just age out. So we got to rebuild. We got to make these hard decisions, and we got to think about the future. And a lot of these older guys are going to be casualties of that. That's just the nature of the beast. So I'm one of the positive people that believes in the future of the Falcons. A lot of people are gloom and doom about it. I'm excited to not know what's going to happen for the first time in a long time. I think
I feel that
it's been predictable for a long. I always knew what Dan Quinn was going to do, and we always knew Thomas Dimitroff was going to do. And I felt like it was the same thing over and over. And I'm just happy, regardless what happens, that we're going to have brand new people in the building, a brand new culture. And so that's what I want to do. Before we get into rapid fire, I just want to go to the chat real quick one more time. Brandon Levy, thank you for joining the chat. He says Keanu O'Neal and Dallas vomit. Brandon Levy, two straight injury season. Keanu O'Neal's going to get a light offer. Alex Mack, too old. Say goodbye. Hennessy will be okay. A lot to learn from this past year. Who else in the chat? Justin says Gurley's already gone. YMOF Jamal says, what's good, fellas? Hey, what's up? If you guys are new to the stream, please hit that like button. Subscribe to Lieutenant Dan, Unintentional Grounding. Subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everybody joining the chat. Now, Dan doesn't know that I made this list, and we're going to go through them. So real fast, rapid fire. I call this re-sign or walk. Dan, you got about 5 seconds for each of them. So real quick, yes or no, and briefly say why, okay?
Okay.
All right, if everybody's ready, number one, Charles Harris.
Re-sign for depth.
Brian Hill.
Let go.
Why? You got to give a brief explanation.
Let go because you already have guys that are at his level.
Bleedy Ray Wilson.
Let go. You're most likely going to draft his replacement.
Luke Stocker.
Most likely re-sign because we don't have tight ends, and he's familiar with Arthur Smith's offense.
Oh, bro, I'm so sick of Luke Stocker. Can we just...
Me too, man, but it's going to happen. Like, we know it. We know it.
Nothing drives me more crazier than on third down, we got Julio, we got Ridley, we got Hayden Hurst, we got backs in the backfield, and we throw into Luke Stocker on a third down. I lose my goddamn mind when I see that, Dan. I'm just saying, bro. Like, I hear what you're saying, but I think we could do better than Luke Stocker, in my opinion. Darquez Denard.
Probably also released due to being probably replaced by another vet.
He did solid this year, though.
I know, but you're either going to get him for the price that he was this past season, or at potentially a reduced price, or he's going to go sign with somebody because he showed that he's done fine and he deserves a bigger deal.
Number 6, Sherrod Niesman.
Probably brought back due to having some safety experience, and we're going to probably not have any safeties.
Number 7, DeMonte Casey.
Probably let go. Price tag's going to be too high, going to be similar to Poole.
I think letting go of Brian Poole is a mistake.
I definitely, but I don't think letting go of KZ is a mistake because he doesn't have the skill level and he's going to ask for a lot of money.
Oh no, I know that. I was just saying.
Yeah.
Number 8, Steven Means.
Most likely re-sign due to familiarity playing in 34 and 43.
Number 9, Laquan Treadwell.
Most likely re-sign due to his familiarity with Matt Ryan and as wide receiver depth.
Number 10, Leroy Reynolds.
Probably release. There will be another veteran to come in.
And bonus free agent, Dan Quinn.
Not on the team, so I wouldn't have to care. Stick of dynamite.
Bro, if he ever came back, I swear to God, that might be the only time I reconsider being a Falcons fan.
Yeah, man.
Anyways, I really appreciate you, Dan, coming on my channel, man. I had a lot of fun. I always have fun talking with you. We gotta do this soon. We need a big ass stream with Mad Mike, Rise Up Rundown. Everybody in there. We got to put it together, bro.
I think it'd be pretty awesome if we could get a bunch of us in there, but there will be politics and things that kind of stop us from getting every single person in there due to some things that are going on right now. So we'll see if we can work it out, but it was great being on the show, man. And I really appreciate it. I got to get out of here. So I'll talk to you later, man. Yeah.
Hey, before you go, real quick, plug your channel and let them know where we can find you at.
Yeah, man. You can hit me up at UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also hit me up Unintentional Grounding on YouTube, where I do my my sports themed stuff and my podcast about the Falcons, and then twitch.tv/unintentional grounding, where you can find me on Twitch playing video games, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Binding of Isaac, so on and so forth, sports games, FIFA. So peace, y'all. Rise up and stay grounded.
This is your boy Jazzy Jeff. Real talk, no gimmicks. Bring that real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans. I'll see you guys soon, and I'm out this thing. Peace, love, and we always rise up, y'all. I'm out.